like golf, does it? I'm moving it in, lifting the club head up, then I move the club head lower, moving the handle in, lifting the club head up. Getting the golf club started away from the ball is a really tricky movement. Getting the handle and the head to really tie in with each other. We know from much of my content, I always reference the fact that we've got this heavy end and we've got this light end. Now, when you take the golf club away, and I had a client the other day that had a really, really quick takeaway, and he almost felt a little bit, dare I say it, yippy from the golf ball. And it always played on his mind that when he moves the golf club away, he can't seem to take the club away, and he gets, a little bit too quick. And of course, as soon as you start getting a little bit too quick, whilst you might be able to hit straight shots, the consistency of those straight shots is really tricky to deliver. So today I've got this canny little drill that's going to allow you to have a bit of a hack on getting that takeaway in the right method. So what I want you to do, and if you've seen a guy called Nick Faldo, he was quite a good player back in his day. And one of the things that he always used to do was have the golf club hovering in the air. Now, I've had a lot of guys and girls comment on videos that I've done with the driver. Go check that one out. That's a cracker, the power fade. It really gives you an opportunity to get that ball finding the fairway, so I'd really recommend that one. When I set up to the golf ball, particularly with my driver, I always have the club head hovering in the air. And that hovering of the golf club in the air, just by lifting the club up in front of you, you immediately feel the weight of the golf club in the top hand. The top hand is crucial for getting this golf club started away in the right way. So as soon as you lift the golf club up in front of you, pop it up in front so the club head is at the same height as the handle. And what you immediately feel, as I say, is the butt of the golf club pushing up in your left hand. Now, if your grip is in the right way and it sits in the pad of the hand, and go check out my grip series, because that will really give you some good insights into how to hold the golf club. That pad of the left hand really starts to prop up the club head. Now I put my right hand in, now the right hand starts to cradle and helps out that lever that keeps the club head up. You're not doing it all in your left hand or your top hand. And so when I then start to put the golf club down closer to the golf ball, don't go all the way down to the floor. Just put the golf club, if that's parallel to the floor, just take it 10 or 20 degrees away from it. And then what I want you to do is just start to move the handle around you. And when you start to move the handle around you, what you'll start to feel is the club head try to drop to the floor. Now, if you're one of those guys that gets that golf club too low and inside on the way back, and you've tried to push that club head out and away from you, you know that never works, and quite honestly, it's garbage. Pushing the handle out. What we need to feel is really getting that handle to move in and away from you. And what I want you to do is, where you've started with the golf club at 20 or 30 degrees down from the horizontal, what I want you to do is move it around you, and then I want you to lift the club head up. I want you to take the golf club from pointing to the floor to pointing to the sky, but keep the hands down underneath you. And so all of a sudden, this pushing down and lifting the club head up, as you move the club around, really starts to give you a sense of how you can keep the club head up in the sky and you can move it away with some form of set. Because a lot of the time when people say, when I hover the golf club, Stuart, all of a sudden I get this kind of drag away and I really hit some terrible shots. But what I say to those people is that you're feeling all of the energy of your club through the handle. You're feeling all of the energy of the club through the handle. You're dragging it away. And at that point, between when you start to take the golf club away and when you get to the top, you're having to, at some point, slow the handle down to get the golf club head to catch up. And that's why we tend to see people with not a lot of wrist set away from the golf ball, because they're draggers of the golf club away. A very big dragger of the golf club away is Colin Montgomery. He was one of the finest, most consistent players in the game, but not really a golf swing that you would want to copy as technique, but certainly a golfer to copy with rhythm. So when we then have done this little drill up here where you've got the shaft down, you've started to move the club head in and you've started to lift the club head up, now you can get a little bit closer to the ball. Don't go all the way down. Now we've got a little bit more than that 20-degree drop, haven't we? We've now got sort of 30 or 40-degree drop. Now you can move the handle in and start to lift the golf club up. And you could even do it above the ball, moving in, lifting the club head up and actually hit one. And you might find that actually all of a sudden you've gone from what didn't feel like playing golf to getting a little bit closer to golf. So this doesn't feel like golf, does it? I'm moving it in, lifting the club head up. Then I move the club head lower, moving the handle in, lifting the club head up. Now I can move the club head to the floor, but I'm not going to move the golf club head all the way to the floor. I'm still going to keep the club head hovering in the sky. And this is the thing, I think you'll be surprised at how many golfers have the club head lifting in the sky. They don't have the club head bolt on the floor and the club head light. I think you'll find most tour players, most good players have some sort of take the strain. Take the strain in a way that you might do if you were doing a deadlift, right? You wouldn't just go from the mass of the bar and the weight on the floor to then heaving it up. You'd take the strain. You'd load the bar, get a little bit of weight in it, and then you'd start to lift up. Not that I'm much of a gym guy at the moment, sticking on the pounds. So what we want to do is now get that club head down on the floor, but I've taken the strain. So I've gone from up here, a little bit lower. Now I'm on the floor, but the club head is very much supported in my grip. Now I'm going to move the handle in and around me, And if you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. I'm going to take the golf club from that 20-degree back to parallel, in and around me, back to parallel. And now all of a sudden I got the feeling that I can move it in, pressure on the handle, and then start to move the golf club in a way that starts to get rid of that in, club head too shallow, too low, and moving around me too much. So I move the handle in, I lift the club head up, and now all of a sudden I can start to get that golf club moving in a much nicer takeaway from a place where I had the golf club up in front of me, up parallel to the sky. So taking the strain of the club head through your grip so that that takeaway can really start to move away nicely, really starts to give you the opportunity to make some better moves away from the golf ball. Take the strain, pressure down, lift the head up. And if you apply that down at your local range, you never know, you might leave yourself with some better golf. Thanks so much for watching. Do consider subscribing if I've offered you something towards your game. And I think you'll find that, my friends, is good coaching.